Hey guys, well, golly. First, Gabby Petito, then Brian Laundrie, and that whole weird situation that no one would ever in life be able to get away with the way the Laundries and Brian laundering money got away. And now he's allegedly dead, so we'll never have answers. Well, guess who else was found dead? Alexis Sharkey. Her husband, Tom Sharkey. Yeah, the one with the tattoos just like Chris Watts. If you're not aware of who Alexis Sharkey is, check out our playlist. She's another one in an MLM whose hubby, Tom, worked in the oil industry just like Chris Watts, Shanann Watts' husband. Tom Sharkey wanted in Alexis Sharkey's death. Died by apparent suicide after U.S. Marshals went to home where he was staying. Slain Instagram influencer Alexis Sharkey's family offered a message to her husband's loved ones after he killed himself when cops swept in to arrest him for her murder. Tom Sharkey was found dead of a gunshot wound to the head last Wednesday by U.S. Marshals serving an arrest warrant at his relative's home in Florida. Alexis Sharkey's family has a message for her husband. Tom Sharkey, husband, wanted for influencer. That's BS. Thomas Sharkey, husband of Alexis Sharkey, Robinalt, who was killed nearly a year ago, was found dead of an apparent suicide in Fort Myers just after 1 a.m. What does this one say? 1 a.m. Wednesday, according to Lee County. Lee County! Oh, Sheriff's Office? Lee, like Christopher Lee Watts and Nicole Lee Kessinger, and Agent Tammy Lee from the Colorado Bureau of Investigations. U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals confirmed Thomas was wanted in connection to Alexis's death before he was found dead in his home from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound early Wednesday morning. Houston authorities issued a warrant for Tom Sharkey, whose body was found at his daughter's home in South Fort Myers. This is just too weird. I can't. Lee County, interesting. No, that's not. Another random connection. So we have Shanann and Alexis and Gabby, all MLMers. We have Chris Watts and Thomas, a.k.a. Tom Sharkey, both petroleum, in the petroleum industry. And when you try to find anything on Tom Sharkey, you cannot. I don't believe he actually worked in the petroleum industry. I believe he's bloodline, as his zaddy was a professional boxer who looks like a giant. So the heroes of old are back on the scene. Have they ever left? Question mark. Then we have Brian Laundrie's cause of death may never be determined. What did the alleged Brian Laundrie suicide note say? Brian Laundrie update. Police deny new rumors. Brian Laundrie autopsy reveals bring even more questions because it's chaos magic. As above, so below. They create a problem and then they come with the solution, or they keep us in so much confusion that we can never get an answer. But if it were just a regular Joe Schmo walking down the street who strangled their fiance, wife, or wife and family, you wouldn't hear about it on the news. This happens every day. Every single solitary day, someone either clicks out and kills their whole family, or in a rage, like Chris Watts says. It's not funny at all. in a rage, they kill their girlfriend or, do some kind of crazy violent act out of nowhere. I just think it's weird that all of these stories not only have the same storyline, but they all take place in the same state, Colorado, and that Brian Laundrie case was handed over to the Colorado Bureau of Investigations. That is so just, let's see, do you think Agent Tammy Lee will head this investigation up? Or do you think that she's staying low-key after being caught on Shanann Watts Live? If you haven't caught our videos on Shanann catching Nicole Kessinger and Agent Tammy Lee coming off the plane with Chris Watts in North Carolina, check that playlist out. What does it say? Following the discovery of Brian Laundrie, or brain laundering, remains on Wednesday, October 20th. What was going on October 20th? Wasn't there a full moon, a full hunter's moon? Yeah, hunter. And it's the same color of the sky for the House of the Rising Sun clan. Yeah. At Mayakahatchee Creek Environmental Park near the Carlton Reserve in Florida. The internet has had a field day with theories on how and when the former fugitive died. Many believe it was death by suicide, while others have the idea that Laundering is still alive and on the run. I don't think he's alive and on the run. I think he's alive, chilling somewhere, living his life. It's very easy to change a look, especially if you work for an MLM. I mean, shoot. One of the comments in one of my videos said, if Robert Downey Jr. could get away with blackface in that movie Tropic Thunder, then I believe nothing that I see on Tell a Lie to Our Vision. Yeah. And I concur. I concur with that statement. I guess we forgot about Robert Downey Jr.'s blackface in Tropic Thunder, right? We forgot about that? Yeah, we did. There hasn't been a peep about that. Not a word. Not a whisper. Well, anywho, what else does it have to say about Brian or brain laundering or money laundering? I mean, all of the cases are connected to petroleum. All of the cases are connected to MLM pyramid schemes, aka multi-level magic or multi-level media. All of them were strangled. Alexis Sharkey strangled to death. Gabby Petito strangled to death. Shanann Watts and the girls strangled and smothered to death. I have to say it. I'm going to say it. There were quite a few comments saying that people saw Celeste on a Disney show. A Walt Disney programming. Yeah, Walt Disney, he's friends with the good old guy that started the Church of Scientology. And if you don't know about the Church of Scientology, they are known for, they're basically paparazzi. In California, the laws are different because there's stars, quote unquote, there. Do you know what a star means? It means a celestial being. Look up the definition of a star. It's a celestial being. So this channel is from a historical, biblical, mythological, because I think mythology and lore is more truth than what we are taught, because every time a new powerhouse took over the world, what did they do? What's the first thing they would do when countries are warring and one wins and goes in and sacks it? They burn their history. They wipe out their history, right? So oral tradition is the only way to keep our history. And usually where I get my sources are from the ancient tribes, the ancient cultures, because people don't just pull stories out of their buttholes. I'm sorry, there's nothing new under the sun. I don't know if these people are bloodline, because in the Bible it says in Genesis, during the fall of Adam and Eve, that there are 2 seeds on the earth. What's a seed? A seed is what comes out of a man, and he impregnates the woman with a seed. So we call our children our seeds, our bloodline, right? Our generations. So if there are 2 seeds on the earth, that means there's one of God that he created, and then there's the serpent seed, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying. And people will say, oh, I don't believe the Bible is written by man. Well, to that I say, every single solitary book you've ever read has been written by a person. But name me one book, and I'm not saying the Bible hasn't been tampered with, because it certainly has. The Dead Sea Scrolls, more and more keep being found. They've been found thrice so far, but it was prophesied in the Old Testament by Daniel the prophet, when God told Daniel to shut up these scrolls and save them for a future distant generation, the last generation. And lo and behold, Dead Sea Scrolls are found 3 times that are biblical. Biblical works, biblical writings mixed with books that we don't know about. So you better get to reading, guys, before you mock something. And another thing, name me one book that has been written over thousands of years, but is cohesive throughout the whole thing. I don't know one. Do y'all? Name another book. Name another book that is written by many different people from totally different time periods that all go together. Because back then they used to have scribes. And before there was written word, it was orally handed down. So people call oral tradition mythology, when in reality the Bible backs up every single thing that oral stories say. And when we hear the stories about the Greek lowercase g gods and the pharaohs from ancient Egypt that were part God, part man, lowercase g God, that is the serpent seed. And people are confused. Well, how could that be? Well, the Bible teaches us that when Adam and Eve fell, Adam handed his crown to the serpent. So the serpent rules this realm that we dwell. We are in a fallen world where we don't belong. We're on his turf. He's the prince of the power of the air, guys. The prince of the power of the air, guys. What flows through the air? Well, my voice is flowing through it right now to y'all, right? What else? Let's see. Television, internet. Can you see it? Can you touch it? Oh, no, you can't, right? But you know, God can use anything. He uses all for the greater good, even if it's something bad, because he doesn't need a hive mind to see what's going on in the world. The enemy, the dragon, the prince of Persia and the prince of the air, the lord of the flies, Beelzebub, Baal, Mammon, which is money. And money is paper. And paper comes from trees, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Y'all, come on now. Let's get with it. Get with the program. You can't negate God's word. God's word tells us it is left to kings and queens to study a matter. We are to continually, as long as our mind allows us, to continue to study and question him. We are to test every spirit, including God. Test the Most High God, and he will show you who he is. Question him. He'll show you things. Anyway, I just wanted to update y'all that Tom Sharkey allegedly committed suicide. How convenient. You know, I think it was getting too hectic because you had regular people, not the MLMers that work for said storylines, questioning this case and trying to find Chris Watts in jail. And I think that became too much of a headache for them. So they're now just killing off these guys in these storylines. I don't know. Is it reality TV? This is all for your entertainment purposes only. And this is just my opinion. And as I've said before, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. Thanks for walking with me, guys. Leave your thoughts below. And I'll be back soon with another video.